Hello, Suzanne. Welcome to another episode. And tonight you have an interesting topic that involves a donkey.
Um, it's about a public broadcast system television network. It's public television, a program that they show about a donkey, but in reality, it's in reference to a famous literary figure whom they do not give credits to the author for.
So, do you want to tell us a little more?
Well, for some months, and maybe as long as a year, there's been a series on public television called Donkey Hodie. It's animated. It's the adventures of a donkey. It's a girl donkey. I think girl donkeys are called jennies. And her sidekick, a large purple panda.
Mm-hmm. And what's Panda's name?
He's called just Purple Panda.
No, he's not Sancho Panda.
Sancho Panza.
Yeah, well, I'm making the pun the way they did it with a donkey.
No, the panda isn't called Sancho in the course of the TV program.
Mm-hmm. So what are you concerned with?
I'm concerned with the donkey, given the name that she has. The credits do not mention the novel on which the character was based, the Donkey Hodie.
Mm-hmm. But it's a parody, right?
The donkey's name being Donkey Hodie is a parody, yes. But neither the opening nor closing credits make any reference to the novel Don Quixote or its author, Miguel Cervantes.
Yeah, but do you think maybe it's so obvious that everybody would know?
Very small children would not know. I think the earliest age group that would be aware of the similarity would be teenagers.
Mm-hmm. No, so you feel that they should credit the original source that they're making a parody of?
Yes.
No, I haven't seen the show. Have you watched any of it?
I watch it sometimes. It's on every day of the week,
mm-hmm.
although on different PBS stations and at different times.
Let's see. So is it? This is just I guess a question for you. When you watch the show, is it based on some of the stories from the book at all, or is it completely different?
No, there aren't any parallel incidents from the book. The donkey, the panda, and several other animated animals sing and play games and sometimes talk.
Okay, so I'm guessing maybe because there's no reference to any parts of the book, they just thought it would be a funny name and they never bothered to say anything else.
Well, somehow they should be made aware of the reality behind their choices. Also, the donkey's name is spelled Donkey, Hodie. Now, they pronounce it Hodie, but in reality, it's pronounced Hodie. It's a Latin word which means today.
Well, that's certainly a reference that most kids wouldn't get, and probably most adults wouldn't get.
Well, on the contrary, adults who used to study Latin would recognize that word, and any contemporary teenagers studying Latin would see the connection too.
Yeah, I don't know how many people today still take Latin. I mean, I did it when I was in school, but I don't know if anyone, to very few schools probably today.
Well, to reiterate, the character Donkey Hodie and the sidekick Purple Panda are based on the real literary characters Don Quixote and his sidekick Sancho Panza.
I see. So what do you think should be done?
The creators of the show have to wake up and realize exactly what it is they've done, or rather haven't done, and alter the credits accordingly.
Okay, but what, that's what you say, and then what if they feel differently? What if they have a different opinion?
Well, then the viewers always have a right to contact the programs. People who do know better would contact the station and let them know. I do it myself, except I don't have a phone number that I can rely on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be doing that, Suzanne. You might be the only one with this complaint.
Or the knowledge?
I think people think it's obvious. I mean, if your kids are watching that show, I mean, I think the parents should be aware of the parody, but I don't think that it's anything they would really be concerned about. I mean, personally, I would just think it's funny, but I wouldn't really. If the show has nothing to do with the book, I don't think that the credit is necessary exactly. But you feel differently, which is okay. So would you write a letter, or you would make a phone call? What would you do to make your point across?
If I knew an address or I knew a phone number, I would contact the people behind the program.
I see. Well, I'm sure PBS has a number you can find easily.
And how am I supposed to find it?
Oh, I'm sure it's out there. I mean, well, you don't have a computer, so.
No.
Okay. But would that be something that's important to you? I mean, I can look it up for you, but I don't think you should be wasting your time.
If you know how to look it up, or the credits always give a long list of names, but the real people in PBS that make the series, but I wouldn't know which person to talk to, and I would have to make sure I got a specific number or extension for that person instead of just a general network number, or else I'd be passed like the proverbial buck from person to person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It will probably be a waste of time if you start making phone calls. But you feel this way because you're a stickler for details and accuracy, right? You like everything to be historically accurate and proper.
When I was in college, I was harassed by 2 generations to concern myself with reality only.
Okay, so this goes back to that you feel that this is not reality because you're not acknowledging Cervantes.
That's right. They're failing to give credit where it's due.
Because I remember a few years back, you wrote a long letter to the movie company that made Underdog movie.
Well, that I wrote the letter to 6 different people but that was before the movie premiered, and I received no answers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would imagine that people are not going to respond if you write a letter or anything like that, because, it seems like you have other problems to deal with. But I see where you're coming from, because you like everything to be accurate and recognized. Is that a big deal? Recognition? You feel that the author's not being given recognition?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that relates to you feeling that you sometimes don't get recognition, right?
It has to do with my being coerced into sticking to the reality behind anything imaginary.
Mm-hmm. And that was your teachers and parents?
Well, not just my teachers and parents. I said 2 generations. There would be the generation before me, my parents, but then also my own generation, other people my own age.
Okay, and what was the biggest complaint? What was the one thing that you engaged in that brought you the most criticism?
I wrote, in my second year at college, the Glee Club was to give a Christmas concert, and I was to write a commentary, a script linking short dialogues between the different songs. And when I submitted it, the students who appointed themselves in charge of it said, "That's not the way it is in real life. Come on, that never happens. I would never let that happen. We're going to change it." And they butchered my entire work.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember any specifics that you wrote? What was one comment that you remember one?
There were a number of them.
I mean, how did you connect? Do you remember any of your writing that the people objected to specifically? Like, what did you write about one song going into another?
Well, the last song was to be "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." I wrote the commentary staying from station WAMJC, the MJC, the initials for my college. We bring you this program with our farewell note and the self-appointed revisionists, or should I say butchers, just wouldn't allow that to be used. Like I said, they took my whole script and they butchered it. So I asked for my name to be taken off the credits for writing the commentaries, but they didn't take my name off. My name and the names of the butchers were all there.
So they objected that because there was no radio station with those call letters? Is that what it was? Like your college didn't have a radio station?
No, it didn't. But I was being whimsical and including making it sound as though it came from a radio station initialed with the initials of my college.
Okay, so that's kind of weird that they would object to that. I mean, I think that's a fun idea. Okay, do you remember another objection?
Well, I said that I had 2 people compare a rural Christmas to an urban Christmas, because with an urban Christmas you have decorations all over the streets, those panhandlers begging for charity, and probably also soundtracks of bells ringing, because it was supposed to link to the carol Silver Bells, but still the butchers would not let it go through as I had written it.
Well, that seems kind of petty. I don't see a problem with that. All right. Well, I think we covered this donkey topic, I guess. So, what would you like people to do? Like, would you like people to call and complain about it, or you want to leave it alone?
If anybody watching the program, well, probably not very young children, but definitely older children, teenagers, and especially adults, if and when they see the connection between the names of the characters and the names of the characters in the novel Don Quixote, they should remember it and inform the station.
All right, so we'll use this as a Suzanne's public service announcement. If anyone feels strongly about it, they can contact their local PBS station. And thank you, for Suzanne, for another interesting conversation. I wasn't aware of this.
Okay, thank you, of course, for the opportunity.
All right, Suzanne. We'll talk soon. Have a good day.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.